Gospel of Matthew does not specify the number or the names of the Magi who bring gifts to the infant Christ. Now, since 3 gifts were offered, 3 wise men were assumed. 3. Well, why the number 3? Because it's considered to be the perfect number. It has a beginning, it has a middle, and it has an end. A human being is a threefold creature: body, mind, and spirit. The earth is a threefold place: earth, sea, and air. There are 3 kingdoms in nature: animal, vegetable, and of course mineral. And 3 Christian graces, for example, faith, hope, and charity. The number 3 is symbolic of spiritual synthesis and represents the solution of the conflict posed by dualism. It forms the triangle, it forms the Trinity, and is the harmonic product that represents the concept of heaven. So that's why we had the number 3 entering the picture here. 3 gifts given by the Magi. 1 gift is gold. Gold is the image of solar light. It is the image of divine intelligence. It is symbolic of all that is superior, all that is glorified. It is a type of supreme spiritual treasure. Spiritual illumination, the fruit of the Spirit, a gift that is worthy of a newborn king. Now, this concept of the king, well, this is universal, symbolic of supreme consciousness, symbolic of sound judgment, achievement, victory, victory in the governing principle. Spiritual consummation. Now, in magic, the king is gifted with divine abilities and supernatural powers. And, well, the other 2 gifts, frankincense and myrrh, well, they're sacred, they're holy, aromatic gum resins that are obtained from shrubs that are found in the more tropical countries of the East. Frankincense and myrrh are sacred items used in the temples, used in anointing, for example, and burning libations that ward off or combats negative or evil influences and energies. So they're very important, frankincense and myrrh. The Magi, these mysterious figures from the East, offer the newborn divine king, the infant Christ, gifts from their golden treasure boxes. Well, believe it or not, a golden jewel-encrusted chest of the wise men exists. It exists to this very day in Cologne, Germany. The chest is thought to contain the relics of the wise men. Nobody knows exactly how this golden jewel-encrusted artifact got to the cathedral in Cologne. And as far as I know, the chest has never been tested for authenticity. I guess it's all just a matter of faith. The Magi remain unnamed in Christian traditions, at least in the West, until the 6th century A.D., when they are given names and particular characteristics or personalities. In an obscure Latin text, the Excerpta Latina Barhabari, in this text, this Latin text, Gaspar is the first. He's known as the White One, an old man with a long white beard. And he also has, bright eyes that showcase the wisdom of age. His origins are either India or Turkey, depending on who's doing the reciting of the legend. Gaspar offers the gift of frankincense, which is, of course, a token of Christ's divinity. Then we have Melchior, the King of Light, who is middle-aged and brown-skinned, and whose origin is either Persia or Arabia. Well, he offers the gift of gold. Gold, of course, being the emblem of divinity. Then you have Balthazar, which is the best known of the three wise men. Now, Balthazar is a young black man who was also known as the Lord of Treasures, whose origins are said to have been Ethiopia. Balthazar offers the Christ child the gift of myrrh. This gift of myrrh is a type of signal for Christ's eventual persecution and unjust crucifixion that will one day sadly come to pass. These traditions are then expanded by the great Christian Anglo-Saxon writer, the Venerable Bede. Bede is the most educated man of his time, and in his book, his exposition of Matthew, Bede records that each of the three wise men come from one of the three main continents, Asia, Africa, and Europe, and that the three wise men represent the three ages of man. Bede also claims that the Magi were descendants of Shem, Ham, and Japheth, the three sons of Noah. And since they were wealthy and conversed with King Herod, well, Bede rationalizes or speculates that they must have been kings, that the three wise men were also three kings. Bede, in his writings, leads to the identification of the three wise men as the three kings. In Eastern Christianity, we have a dozen wise men, plus, of course, all their servants. This is, of course, in Greek and Russian Orthodoxy. While in Armenian and Syrian Christianity, the ancient text known as the Book of the Bee also states that a dozen Magi journeyed to Bethlehem. The Ethiopian Christians, in their text, the Book of Adam, agrees with the Western viewpoint that there were only three Magi, or three kings, but gives these three wise men, these three kings, different names. Hor, the king of Persia, Basanatar, the king of Saba, and Karsudan, the king of the East. But all three different, all these different Christian theologies do agree on the number and nature of the gifts given to the infant child Christ. Three gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. But nobody, and I mean nobody, agrees on the actual date of Christ's birth, since it was not recorded at the time and is well open to interpretation. And nobody, and I mean nobody, agrees on the exact nature of the celestial phenomena known as the Star of Bethlehem.